The Jewish Week on JN1.
More than 100 members of the European Jewish Parliament from across the continent have gathered here in the Ukrainian capital Kiev to attend the Parliament's latest session. Members discussed a wide range of issues facing contemporary Jewish communities throughout Europe, especially the rise of anti-Semitism and far-right political groups. JN1 came here to find out how the EJP is working with European governments to confront extremism. Composed of 120 members elected by an online poll to represent Jewish communities in over 40 European countries, the European Jewish Parliament is backed by European Jewish Union President Igor Kolomoisky and seeks to strengthen pan-European cooperation between Jewish communities while fostering closer ties within individual European governments. High on the agenda was the rise of far-right political parties that have gained support throughout Europe, such as Hungary's Jobbik, an ultra-nationalist group which now holds 44 seats in the country's parliament. That group, as well as others including the Greek Golden Dawn, have Jewish communities worried following a number of anti-Semitic incidents. Late last year, a Jobbik lawmaker called on the Hungarian government to draw up a list of the country's Jews, who he said posed a national security threat. EJP members also discussed the 21st century threat posed by extremist groups online, who are using social media to target Jews and other minorities.
One of the arenas that you see the rise in anti-Semitism is on Twitter and on social media. I've been personally myself been the subject of several anti-Semitic attacks on Twitter, which are being investigated now by the police. We unfortunately see lots of people who try to delegitimize Israel and pro-Israel supporters, and they try to threaten them by lawsuits and try to silence them, unfortunately, because we try to support Israel. So some of my colleagues on Twitter, which are not in EJP but they are very active Israel advocates, have been sued by some organization which doesn't like their opinions. And I think that we need to understand that the debate today can be really shaped through Twitter, and that's why we have the European Jewish Parliament Twitter, to participate in the debate, to voice our concern, our beliefs, our ideas and what we do. And I think that we need many more people to join us and to help us in our battle for the public opinion, because there are lots of people on the other side who are doing a job to delegitimize Israel on social media, and we need to increase the numbers of people on social media to help us in the battle.
With its rising clout, the EJP has recently added a number of new members from across the continent who see it as a place where Jews can unite and reach out to European leaders and citizens.
I think that right now with the new immigration also in Europe, we need place, and EJP can help this to establish normal relationship, to explain and to talk each other, to find a lot of point in common that we have, because we are all normal people that want to live a normal life. So I think that this could be the place, and I'm sure that just talking and through the dialogue we can reach our result.
EJP members voted to submit a resolution to the European Union, urging lawmakers to pass a new definition of anti-Semitism so that countries in the EU can more easily prosecute anti-Semitic acts.
Actually, we have no legal definition of the anti-Semitism. We do have this working definition, which was more of a recommendation that was used in various cases, but no legal document that will actually come into force in cases when of Holocaust denial or anti-Semitism and so on. That's why, for example, in Romania we have a great difficulty of combating these phenomena, because we do not have such a starting point. And we do hope that this will become a starting point for all the communities in Europe and for all the governments and for the all institutions, state institutions that are sincere in combating the anti-Semitism and the Holocaust denial all over the place.
Officials from the Ukrainian government attended the session to answer questions from MEJPs about worrying trends in the country. Hannah Herman, an advisor to Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych, said groups like the EJP are an important part of the battle against far-right radicals.
Я думаю, що наші спільні зусилля у боротьбі проти екстремізму і ті зусилля, які Європейський єврейський парламент приділяє і робить для цієї справи, що вони повинні дати результат. Для України це питання дуже важливе і дуже актуальне, оскільки в Україні теж з'явилися праворадикальні партії, які мають у своїй програмі, в своїй діяльності і в своїй публічній риториці екстремістські елементи. І для нас є дуже важливе і це засідання, і ця зустріч європарламентарів, яка буде разом з президентом України, для того, щоб ми зусилля у боротьбі з екстремізмом об'єднували і щоб ми поставили надійний заслін цим небезпечним рухам.
EJP members traveled to Kiev's Babi Yar Memorial, the site of a horrific massacre carried out by Nazi soldiers during the Second World War. In an emotional ceremony, MEJPs laid wreaths and said prayers to commemorate the more than 33,000 Jews who were brutally murdered during 2 days in 1941. EJP co-chair Vadim Rabinovich said it was a special privilege to have the parliament meet in his native Ukraine.
I was born in Ukraine, so I am very glad that this session of the European Jewish Parliament is being held here in this country. It is very important that we are here together with Natan Sharansky, the chairman of the Jewish Agency for Israel, as well as the representatives of the European Jewry. Some of them have visited Ukraine for the first time in their lives. We convened to address some common issues. This is a very important event because unity is absolutely essential. We managed to find consensus on many issues. The representatives of the Ukrainian Parliament were also present. I think that the general session of the EJP, which took place in Ukraine, is a great event for European Jewry.
With popular support for far-right groups threatening the stability of governments across the continent, as well as the safety of European minorities, EJP members say they hope to continue working with European leaders to pass meaningful legislation to protect the rights of Jewish communities throughout the region. For JN1, I'm Chris Collison in Kiev.